Uganda. I would like to thank you for your patience, and as I promised that we shall be having a very swift and methodical program. And to members of the media, we once again say we're very grateful and indebted to you for continuously being part of this struggle and fairly and transparently informing the public amidst the hard conditions under which we operate. At this juncture, may I request Madam Judith Anang Okao, who is one of our senior members and from Kwania district, to come and perform that noble duty on behalf of the team and on behalf of all Ugandans of introducing to the country the name and the person of that steward who is going to be the torchbearer of our journey to a renewed Uganda. So may we put our hands together and welcome Madam Judith Okao.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm honored to be here. I'm honored to be part of a renewed Uganda. All protocols observed. Let me start by introducing myself. As mentioned before, I'm called Judith Anang Okao, aspiring to be Woman Member of Parliament, Kwania District. I'm part of the team for a renewed Uganda. Before you now, I'm happy to present to you the biodata of our president-to-be. I'm so honored to give this part of the speech on behalf of my team. I would like you to join us in supporting him, not only here as we are here now, but also in other parts of the country. As this is a new journey, we are starting the new journey as a child who is starting to walk. And the walking has to be done slowly without falling and maybe hurting the child. So my greatest appeal to you all is to give him the support he deserves and also move throughout the country so that we are felt all over the country. With those few remarks and introduction, I would like now to give you a brief biodata for the General. General has served for the last 40 years in the constitutional regime of Uganda. He has served in various capacities, which we all know, among which I am going to give you. General was born in 1959 in Rukungiri district, and as I give you his age, I'm not very far from that age, General. So birds of the same feather flock together. General has done a lot for this country, and that's the reason why most of us are behind him. He has observed the rule of law. He was part of the team which made the Constitution of Uganda in 1995. He is he was one of the ministers at one time. He has served in various capacities as First Secretary and Defense Attaché of the Uganda Embassy in London. He was also a member of the Constituent Assembly that was tasked with the development of the 1995 Constitution. He was a member of Parliament. He was an Army Chief of Personnel and Administration, and also Chief of Military Intelligence. With those few remarks and the capacities at which he has worked, I believe he is able to drive this vehicle, Uganda, which we are all going to enter into. And it is my pride right now to honor him and invite him to speak to you. General, you can speak to your people.
Thank you, Madam Judith. Our secretariat, led by Beatrice Mirungi Kiraso, my wife, Stella Tumukunde, and the clerics of the Muslim religion that are here today, our regional leaders who we
to cut in small figures just because of the COVID rules and the many things that are seriously inconveniencing us operating in rules that are not even properly defined. Ladies and gentlemen, and of course our music troops, our security, and other players who have made this day a success. Before I go to the formal speech, I would want to give you gazetted assurance that we are organized. That's not in doubt. And we are touching the ordinary Ugandan who gives the vote. That's where we are targeting. We are not going to so many protocols. We reach where the ordinary Ugandan gives the vote. The people I called here are people who reach the ordinary Ugandan. I give you my assurances that we are doing the right job and we shall get there and you'll tell the results. Maybe I should also tell you why we chose today. Still among us very many inconveniences. Why did we choose today? We chose today because today is the Youth Day. The day when 9.8 million Ugandans who vote and choose leadership of the Republic of Uganda are being celebrated and remembered and recognized. So I want to tell you that we chose it deliberately with all the inconveniences, that this was the right day, and we therefore pronounce ourselves categorically and strictly to the youth of the Republic of Uganda, and we shall give them sufficient attention as the case so requires. Why the orange color? This orange color actually is supposed to be the Dutch orange. The Dutch orange is one of the orange colors that I once used when I formed the first political party called Progressive Alliance Party. Secondly, this is a color of revolution. I'm sure all of you know the orange, but it's a color of revolution. It's a color that has caused change. It's a color that has driven change. It's a color that has achieved change. That's why we use the orange color. Why a renewed Uganda? I do not want to be one of those who imagine that nothing has been done in this country. Something has been done, but the revolution lost its way. And we are here to put the revolution back on the right lane. And that's why for us in our thinking and proper appreciation of the situation, we shall only renew the situation. We shall not necessarily invent the creation. So a renewed Uganda is because we appreciate that something has been, and have been part of that, has been done, and have been part of those who did what has been done. The other points I raised in the main speech. Why Chisoboka? Most Ugandans have an impression that nothing can be done to change this situation. I'm not one of those. And for all of you who are lining up in this new renewed Uganda, in this direction that I keep showing you, straight, forthright, and forward moving, I want to give you every confidence that we can indeed change this situation. Come 2021, despite all the pressures we are going to do, scientific elections, I have every belief, except if we find that we cannot operate at all. If we are given the thin lines of operation, I want to inform all of you that we shall come together and cause change. Any one of you who doubts it, today is the day. Join the renewed Uganda without any hesitation that we can actually cause change in this country. There is a great quotation I want to make. It is by a Greek philosopher. The important thing are the words. The name is complicated, but let me tell you. Managers do things right. Leaders do right things. Managers do things right. Leaders do right things. We've been reversing ourselves and doing ourselves, continuing to give little faith to the people who lead us, who we lead. I want to emphasize today that all of you, as you stand up to offer leadership in this new ride, make sure you as a political leader, you do right things. You do not do things right. You do right things, so that we don't have excuses of tomorrow of having to explain ourselves when actually what was supposed to right ceases even to appear right. Now, lastly, in these general remarks before I go to the main speech, I want you to continue with your desire. You don't have to shout. You don't have to fight on the streets. Get down, reach the people. We've been using it from the reports I'm receiving from all of you and from the counter checks I've been making. I am not doubting in any way that we are likely to shock very many people in the coming many months. Do stick to your desire. Do stick to your desire. The other point that I cannot leave without mentioning are the people we put in front of you here. I know you wanted to see professors. We have them. Actually, some of them must be amongst you. You wanted to listen to philosophies. Philosophies have always been there. What has not been present is that you do not communicate to the masses that actually matter the masses that need your services most. You do not communicate to the masses that matter. You do not communicate to the masses who you purport to offer services, who are the larger majority. And as far as I'm concerned, I will give focus, attention, precision of attention to the young people of Uganda, to the women of Uganda, and to the disadvantaged Ugandans. That's why I can afford space on my launching day to a border man, because he needs us. He needs us. He needs us. I want to raise something about the women. In the larger statement, I'll say something about them. I lost my mother, my father in 1964. I have largely depended on my mother and my sister. And I'm a lawyer, and I'm a Ugandan of distinguished integrity. Do not underscore the role of women. I want to ask all of you, we don't have to highlight it the way people do it for purposes of politics. For me, I feel it, I have lived it, I know what it means to have the favor and care of a woman who sometimes is running everything on his own, on her own. These women you always call women. They are women of different categories. Single mothers, widows, women with disability, women who cannot put lunch on the table, women who, for example, command 10 orphans. Those women must always attract your attention when we are mobilizing for this group. Those women, do not forget them, because they matter most. We are who we are because of these women. We are in this world because of these women. These women, these women, these women. For purposes of fulfilling the promises I gave to my secretariat, I want to read an official statement just to be on record. Fellow Ugandans, fellow countrymen and women, I would like to start by thanking God for bringing us this far and for allowing us an opportunity to witness the changes in our country and for the opportunity to make a contribution in our respective capacities and capabilities.